Hey, this is Enjoy. I'm putting together a basic Etherjump movement tutorial, and this will cover everything from basic movement to more advanced movesets, I guess. Ever since I put out the 666 competition, I've had a lot of questions about how to do certain things that are maybe not so obvious, or maybe even a little glitchy, I suppose. So that's what I'm doing here today. I am starting off on play.etherjump.game/1633, which is a great beginner plot to learn the basics. Before we get too far in, though, let's go over the controller settings. If you press Escape on your keyboard, you'll go into the pause menu, and then you can click on Controls. You can actually see what the default controls are here. We have the basic up, left, down, right movesets, which are done with your controllers or even with WASD. Basically, left and right is really all you're going to need right here. Move back and forth. Up acts as jump. These are actually duplicated down here with this jump button. Down, I'm not sure does anything specific right now other than helps you dash in a certain direction if you're falling. But nothing crazy there. Interact is how you're going to open up doors. So we've got down arrow or S, there you go. Down button works as well for that. And then jump, which is arrow up, and then dash, which is space. Dash is kind of a unique item for this particular platformer. It's not done in a lot of other games. It is something that is found in games like Celeste, but it's not traditional for platformers, so it does take getting a little bit used to. We'll talk about that in a second. The last button here is restart. Real quick, because it doesn't really fall in line with anything else. That restart button, I'll show you how that works. Basically, if you get started here in a level, you go through and maybe you get stuck or you get too injured and it doesn't make sense to continue on, you can press restart, and it pulls you back to the starting point there. I will say, so the traditional restart button is R. I moved it over to P, just because I kept accidentally button mashing it when I'm getting worked up and in maybe a more difficult level. So I moved it over to P. It does help considerably. One last thing I'll mention about these controls is this is keyboard only. They have mentioned adding in controller support eventually. You can currently use controllers by utilizing Steam has a controller input key binding, so you can do it through Steam. I know people have used the Nintendo Switch Pro controller or an Xbox controller by linking it through Steam, as well as I've seen people also use a Steam Deck to play this game on, or even a hacked Nintendo Switch. So there's other options. There are other options coming, but there are ways to get to use a controller if that's something that's interesting to you. I do prefer keyboard. I find it's easier to pull off some combinations with keyboard. Yeah, I guess that's personal preference. So real quick, we're going to go through the basic movements here. Left and right is pretty standard. You press left, you go left, you press right, you go right. We'll move past that pretty quickly. We'll add in jumping. Again, jumping is pretty traditional to platformers. You jump and go up stuff, you jump over enemies, whatever. Pretty basic there. You press a certain button and you jump in that direction, right? So again, we're pressing, in my case, W, or the up key, jump. Next is dash. So again, we're utilizing the space key to dash. One thing about the space key that I've had issues with in the past, and I'm actually going to go over, we've got a dash practice map on map 3333. So we can mess around in here. So one thing I found out about the space bar for dash is it's because there's a few different points where the space bar connects to the keyboard. or registers key presses. Sometimes it is a little bit glitchy. I actually put my other dash button on J, just because there's only one point. It's a little bit more reliable. So yeah, I mean, dash is pretty basic. It makes you go faster in a certain direction, right? It kind of makes you skip across the ground. Another thing to note that is if I get hit by this enemy, it hurts me, bumps me back a little bit. Dash is currently it's the one way to damage enemies. So it kind of pushes you through the enemy and damages them. Next thing about dashes is that they can be used to clear gaps. So we've got a gap here, we can go across that. They kind of go up in difficulty here. But all those are no jumping, just dashing. There we go. If you miss your dash there. Next, we've got wall jumps. So basically, if you jump and you slide down a wall, I'll show you what that slide looks like. You jump and you slide down a wall, you can actually wall jump off that wall. And as long as you're not jumping off the same wall again, you can kind of keep jumping back and forth between walls if there's enough walls nearby. Kind of looks like that, but like I can't double jump off the same wall, for instance. I can jump and dash off that wall, get a little bit higher. So now we're talking some different combos. As I mentioned, you can link wall jumps. You can also dash to move a little bit faster. So jump, wall jump, dash, jump, wall jump, dash. Get a little bit higher, faster, and help you reach farther away walls. And then I guess we'll talk about, again, you can kind of, so like this one I can't jump up by myself, but I can jump and dash up. This one's a little bit higher because I'm clearly out of that range, so I can wall jump and then dash at the height of that to get up there. Another thing that you can do, because the dash actually resets your wall jump once, is you can jump, wall jump, jump, wall jump, jump, dash, wall jump, dash again, to get way higher. So that's another thing that we'll just throw in there. I will restart this level real quick though, because there is one more mechanic I wanted to show off here, and that is the phantom dash. And there's a couple different ways that can be utilized. One, it's kind of like that advanced wall climb that we were just talking about, where you're jumping, dashing, jumping, dashing off the wall. But you can actually do that in thin air. There's a period of time in between where you leave this little ledge right here, where it actually registers you as having been against the wall a short enough time period away, where it lets you kind of do that in midair. So I'll show you what that looks like. You can kind of see I get an extra jump in midair. Again, I would consider it more of a glitch. I think that most of the community finds it fun, so I don't know if they're going to remove it. But it is usable in some levels, require it. Not a lot of them. And some levels you might just find spots where, hey, it helps you shave some time off or reach a hidden location. So again, that's just a kind of real quick jump, dash, jump, dash. The other piece of that, Phantom Dash, is more direction-oriented. So I'm going to jump, dash right, and then jump, and then dash up. So let's see if I can do that real quick. And again, we've been calling it Phantom Dash. Not used a whole lot, or not required a whole lot in levels, but it is something that you can do, and could help you shave a little bit of time off, or reach a spot that maybe you shouldn't be getting to, or a hidden spot. So let's see if I can do this real quick. So definitely a more advanced move. There we go. So you'll see I was kind of able to direct that double jump in a different direction. So maybe I wouldn't be able to reach that area without that. Next, we'll go into what's called a super jump. And I've got a practice map for this. It's play.etherjump.game/3398. And basically what a super jump is, like if you look here, I'm not able to cross this gap with jumping or with dashing or even with wall jump and dashing. Like there's no way to cross this. There is, I guess I would call it another bug that, again, the community has now built a lot of levels around. It's I don't know, reasonably common to find in some harder levels because it is an advanced technique and people enjoy it. And basically what you do is you go up into your wall jump, and as you hit the wall, you kind of mash the up arrow or the jump, the direction that you want to go, and the dash button all at once. And I'll show you what that looks like. It is very timing dependent, but there you go. You can see how it really just shoves you across the map. And you know, once you practice that a little bit, it is very timing dependent. It is a little bit tricky to master, but once you do it a few times, it can become pretty easy to get. Again, this is 3398 if you want to practice that. And then you can also link those just like a wall jump, right? So you can I can make a couple tries. Ooh. Speaking of timing. There we go. So you can link those together and reach higher places with walls that are farther apart as well. Last, I want to talk about this other mechanic that's kind of newer. Not a lot of levels with it, but it is fun to pull out every once in a while. Because of the way that enemies and objects affect you when you hit them. Basically, they give you a short interrupt period where it delays your fall and it kind of does a little bit of a reset, as well as damage you. You can use this to get further, to access further places as well. So in this case, this is called a fireball jump. You can also do this by jumping on some enemies, such as bats. I'll just show you what that looks like real quick. So again, right now we've got this this kind of platform. We don't really know where the other side is. We can jump and try and dash, and we're just a little short. We see this fireball cannon down here, which shoots off a fireball, and we can actually time our jump. Time our jump so that we can land on top of that thing, and dash up and reach that kind of unknown spot. I'll do it one more time. We'll play through this level a little bit because there are a couple more spots. But I think that's pretty much as far as or the basics behind most of the movements, the different move sets that are in existence right now. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or any comments about these particular movesets, if there's something I've missed, if there's something you want me to add. I'm sure there will be more videos coming out in the future about different mechanics and different enemy types and builder modes and all that sort of stuff. So we will add those. Again, this level was 4501 if you want to test out that fireball jump. The last thing I will throw out there is the level explorer itself. There's I think over 2,000 different individual built levels right now. These are all community made levels. Essentially, if you own the NFT, you can build whatever you want on it, and it shows up in this level explorer. There will be more options in terms of sorting and stuff in the future. Right now, if you go to the Discord, which is discord.gg/Etherjump, there is a share your plot section, which allows more different ways to sort by difficulty, by length, by type of level. So you can check that out as well, and obviously get more hints from the community within the Discord. But for now, I think that's it. So again, if you have any questions, reach out. Other than that, thanks for watching.